Our task today and our objective is going to be creating a homecoming presentation handheld bouquet. Unity, the oneness of purpose, thought, style, and spirit in which the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. We're going to create this bouquet starting with a greenery grid and focusing on the different products that we have. The different greeneries, we have a spiral eucalyptus or a regular eucalyptus depending on who you talk to, and Israeli ruscus. They're both considered more linear, and with the presentation bouquet, we want it to be a little bit longer so it can lay in your arm. And we created and picked a little bit more linear products to use. We'll use a large hydrangea to create an emphasis area. We'll use spider mums and then button mums, two different varieties, and we're pulling unity in by the colors of the products and the textures that we have chosen today. To start, we'll start with the greenery grid, and you'll create it kind of in your hand so that you have a structure. If that's difficult, you can also lay it flat on the table, but for today I'm going to show you how to make it in your hands. The two pieces I chose are very branchy. They fill out and help you create a little bit better foundation. And even though it's going to be a little bit harder, we're technically going to lace them together, which is the interweaving and locking of the stems. When we do this, it allows us to have a little bit more depth and roundness, and that's going to create a nice emphasis area. Once we have our foundation of our greenery, we'll make sure that our height and our size is correct. So you'll think about how it would lay in your arm, and then we'll start to add in our products. I'm going to start with my hydrangea at the base, still using it in my hand, kind of blending it through. A little bit lower, creating that depth from side to side. And then we will use our mums to stair step and to create rhythm. I'm going to start at the top with my smallest and then lead my eye down almost in a terracing effect to create a stair step pattern. This creates a little bit better rhythm and depth, which again helps us with our unity and harmony, making it overall pleasing to the eye. The closer that we get to our emphasis area, the tighter we want our flowers to be in the spacing. And all of my products are tubed so that they can continue to live. So you can see as we get closer, they're a lot tighter and further apart at the top. Again, looking at it in your arm, it's a nice presentation style. It rests really nice. And then I'm going to use my button mums as an accent or almost as a filler flower to really blend in my negative space or my void areas. One will go in the top, and then I'm going to counterbalance the weight and take it and place it on the opposite side down towards the bottom, blending it through. This little guy is kind of getting lost back here, so I'll bring it up a little bit, transition those just a little bit more. And then anything that is too long, that's not going to fit into my bouquet, I'm going to go ahead and clip. And then at this point, you could take a rubber band or a piece of raffia or any kind of product at all. You could bind it together if you don't feel like you can hold it. That would make it a little bit more structurally sound. I'm going to set that to the side. I've went ahead and pre-cut cellophane, just a clear cellophane, and then a gold metallic. And again, I've chosen the gold because that's what makes it one with unity and the entire purpose. We're really picking colors and using tints, tones, and shades to pull everything together. I've went ahead and layered it. The cellophane is on the outside because it's bigger. The gold is on the inside. That'll cover our mechanics, but also add another value of color and depth to it. We'll take our bouquet and place it up in the top corner. And I'm placing it long ways down my paper at a diagonal motion. And then I went ahead and pre-made my bow. This is a number 9 satin acetate. This is what you will traditionally use. In case you don't have wire, and we also don't want the wire to rip the cellophane, I'm going to show you how to make it with tying ribbon so that you can tie it around. We're going to start with the short side towards our belly button. We're going to go about 5 to 6 inches up, and the shiny side is on top. We're going to twist a half twist above our fingers. Bringing it back up and around our thumb for a center loop. We'll pinch and twist, always making sure that the shiny side is on top. We're gonna go up, back down to make our first loop. Down, back up, twist, and we're gonna make it proportional to our arrangement. So when we're creating proportion, we're not only creating proportion top to bottom for height, but we're also thinking about our width. I can see that my bouquet right now is going to be 12 or so inches wide, so I know by the time I finish my bow, I need to fit in that. I'll repeat it till I have 5 to 7 loops, just a big showy bouquet. It's homecoming. We want it to be super exciting. I'll cut my ribbon with 2 tails, and then I'm going to take a really extra long piece, I'd say about a yard. We're going to slide the ribbon in through our center loop where our thumb is at. And then we'd use it traditionally like wire, but it's just a little bit different. We'll take it, we'll pull the 2 tails around and tie it like a shoestring. And you may have to use your mouth to cinch it down, and then you have a bow, and that makes it a little bit easier and more mechanically sound when we go to tie it today. You don't have to cut wire off, you don't have to worry about it. Once you have all of that set up, we'll go ahead and we'll start to wrap. If you've ever swaddled a baby, it will be like that. If not, it's kind of like a burrito. We want all the contents on the inside. So I'm going to take the bottom portion, and I'm going to fold it up over my stems, and I'm trying to take the bottom point in my right corner all the way up in a straight line through my left. And then I'm going to fold my left side in, and then my right side. And when I'm folding it in, it almost looks like an envelope at the bottom. Stuck. Where it kind of folds, it squares up, and it's a little bit easier and it'll be cleaner at the bottom for us instead of just kind of wadding it together. From here, we'll pull our left side up and over our bouquet, trying to keep it as straight as possible, but now you can really see the metallic, how much that metallic pulls your yellows and the yellow tones out of your greens, really creating harmony and unity overall. Up, over, that's the burrito part or the swaddle. Directly underneath where our flowers come together, we're going to cinch it, making a nice grouping. And we want to make sure that our top to bottom is proportional. So remember that proportion is the rule of the comparative size relationship between your flowers and their container or their vessel. So today our container is going to be our cellophane, and we pretty much want it to be the exact same height. And I think it is. From there, we'll take our bow, we'll place it on the front, and then we have these 2 long tails. I'm going to take them, crisscross them in the back, bring them to the front, and then tie it underneath. That way we're covering our mechanics. We want to make sure that everything is mechanically sound, and then I'll double knot it just for reassurance. From here, I'll take my ribbon scissors, and I'm going to trim my tails. And this is where you could go at an angle up into the bouquet. You could also dovetail it. When you fold the ribbon in half, and you'll cut from the inside to the outside at an upward motion, creating a really pretty effect. Totally up to you. The big thing is you want to repeat the same thing over and over again. So if I cut 2 at an angle, all 4 need to be at an angle, because that is rhythm and that creates the visual flow or movement, and it makes it a more sound arrangement. It shows that we went through and we did all of the detail and we put everything together. We've created the balance. You can see that it's a little bit heavier to this side with the yellow, but we counterbalance that weight with that heavy green hydrangea on that side, and that is going to be your wrapped arrangement.